Hey, what's up, YouTube? So, yesterday I was watching the debate, that absolute train wreck of a debate, by the way, between a Critical Hit 64 and Armored Sentries on Poppy2K's channel, and it pretty much took 2 hours to come to the same conclusion that started the whole thing, as in Braden does not like Halo 5, and Armored Sentry does like Halo 5, and it took 2 hours to just pretty much say the same thing. But anyway, from that debate does spring up an interesting question, which I want to bring up here. How long do you think it should take to figure out if you are into a game or not? I mean, seriously, one of the major arguments to that here is Braden, Critical Hit 64, he played about an hour of Halo 5 and decided he didn't like it. Armored figured, well, that's not good enough. How are you going to discover what you like or everything about the game in 1 hour? And, you know, like later in the comments section, Braden, something like, he's usually, if he's not hooked in the game in a few minutes, then it's not really a game that's worth his time. And okay, that's fine. That works for him. But I just brought up a question about how long do you guys think that it would take before you decide to get into a game? Because I'm kind of like between both, because there are a few games that within a few minutes I'm like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna play this game, it's gonna be awesome. And there were a few other games where it took me a while before I said, okay, now I want to see how this plays out. My most recent game where I can think of that where that happened to me was pretty much Dragon Age Inquisition. Try that again. Dragon Age Inquisition. So, you know, basically I played the game it took me quite a while before I decided that I actually did want to get into this game, because within a few minutes of playing this and other thing, I was like, yeah, this just, I don't see anything special about this game. You know, I played a little bit, and I took a break for a while, because I'm like, yeah, I don't know, but I did eventually get back to it. I got a little more into it, and I was like, okay, yeah, all right, I'm in. You know, it did take me a while, and like I said, there's some, like that game in particular took me like it took me a while. And then another game I can think of where after a few minutes I was hooked in was Bayonetta 2, where like after a few minutes it's like, oh hell yeah, this game is awesome, I'm fucking loving this shit. So for me, I guess it really depends. I mean, some games I'm gonna be a few minutes in, I'm like, alright, let's party. And a few other games it took me a little while in before I decided, alright, let's see what's going on here. Another game I can think of where it's like that was Xenoblade Chronicles. So yeah, I was looking forward to this game for the longest time, and eventually came out, and I was playing it it took me a few hours before I was finally like, holy shit, okay, let's do this. Because I was playing the beginning of the game, and I was like, I'm not so sure I'm feeling this one, and stuff like that, after all this. But, you know, it got to a certain point where I was like, oh, okay, oh shit, okay, yeah, I'm in. I totally want to play this game now. I want to see it through to the end. And about 85 hours later, I finally got to the end of the game. But, yeah. So, that's just my take on it. I guess it really depends, because some people, I guess, if they're not hooked in a few minutes, they're done. They're like, that's it, I'm not dealing with this, fuck this, this game's boring, before they learn like any of the mechanics, something like that. Like, I can say I've been guilty of that, you know, a couple of games I've played a few minutes in, I'm like, and I was done for the day. But, you know, some games I said, okay, let me put a little more time in this, let me get to know it a little better, let me see what's going on. And so for me, it's either or. You know, and there are occasions where I do put a few hours in and I'm like, okay, fuck it, I'm done. You know, this game isn't going anywhere for me. I don't want to deal with it anymore. I'm bored of it. Fuck it. Let's move on. So it happens. I'm not saying I'm perfect here, but you know, it did bring up an interesting question about, you know, how long do you think it would take you to get into a game? Are you one of those people who give it a few minutes and be like, ah, screw it, I'm done? Or give it a few minutes and like, all right, I'm totally into this? Or does it take you a few hours before you finally decide that, hey, this is definitely a game I want to be a part of, I want to play? Or after a few hours, like, fuck this game, I'm done, I don't want to deal with it anymore. So, like I said, it did bring up an interesting question based on the two perspectives that the gentleman in this debate had. And I just, you know, it brought up a good question that I wanted to ask. So, so I'd say about that, and I will see you guys next time.